For those that watch this show on a regular basis, it's a funny thing, isn't it, to learn if you are a, shall we say, let's not call him friends, but an associate of the former royal known as Meghan Markle. You could never say Meghan's truly got friends. There are opportunistic moments in her life where suddenly you're the bestie, she thinks you're fabulous and all of that sort of stuff, and then you just have to get something wrong. I mean, I truly did feel sorry for Mindy Kaling, although I know it's television. The way she was sort of berated on that thing of, well, you know, you've got it wrong. How dare you call me that? And she genuinely looked hurt and shocked, because I don't think this had ever been discussed. I think this was something that Meghan literally lampooned on this poor woman. And suddenly, you know, she had to come back, oh, this is the most glamorous moment of my life. She couldn't pile on the grease anymore to Meghan. But clearly, I've been told that that friendship, shall we say, has now developed a thin frost. Right? One friendship that's also developed a very thick frost is this particular, well, shall we say, one-time chum. And as I've said to you many times before, this is absolutely a tissue of lies from Meghan Markle's side. Let me explain. Morning, chums. Nice to see you. Thank you so much for joining me today. Lovely to have your company. By the way, I'm glad you enjoyed the comment about the council tax. Do check yours. As I said, you know, the councils literally, if you think about it, they're all bankrupt, they're all badly run, and most of them are run now with local mayors who've had no business experience at all, other than giving lots and lots of money to their local mosques. Whichever way you look at it, that is the face. You know, if you go to any mosque, it's incredibly cash rich. All cash, right? So if, of course, Rachel Reeves wanted to look into something like that, perhaps she should start there. You get the picture. It's a little bit like this. You know, I've often said that Princess Eugenie, fascinating this when you think, because nice girl, met her, you know, met both the princesses, in fact, of the Duke of York and the Duchess of York, Sarah Ferguson. And they're just nice, down-to-earth kids, actually. Kind of fun, you know, if I'm honest. Good fun, you know. Not what you expect at all. And, of course, people think, well, Princess Eugenie, could she be trusted? Because she was, of course, the point of contact with Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. And as we saw that famous dinner through the bubble and all that type of stuff. What's interesting, I find, is that Eugenie, I think, you know, wears a heart on her sleeve. Very kind of clear-cut woman. And Meghan Markle, you're either in or you're out. And as I've said to you before, the thing that I always found ludicrous, absolutely 100% ludicrous, was the fact that you've got a friend who's called Princess, and you think, so what's her background? Well, apparently Meghan still had no idea about the British monarchy, right? And I know for a fact that Meghan and her team, including Marcus Anderson, allegedly, well, they pummeled this woman to sort of make sure they got the right royal connections. There's a lot more to that first meeting story than truly meets the eye, right? If you wanted to say Harry got snared, well, I will say that, exactly. Now, here's where it gets interesting, because now Eugenie is no longer of any use to both, some might suggest, both Prince Harry and, of course, the former royal and jam maker Meghan Markle. And this is because you're just not doing what they want you to do. That's your problem. Once you turn upon them, then they don't like you anymore, you know. You're not on their side, you can't be on any other person's side, it has to be them. Now, where this gets even more interesting is, you see, Princess Eugenie has just taken on a wonderful idea, put together, of course, by His Majesty the King, all about 35 under 35, helping certain people. It has connotations, of course, of Meghan Markle taking the credit for this for her 40 times 40. Nothing like it at all, but Meghan will jump on any bandwagon. You get the picture. Now, because Princess Eugenie will be working alongside His Majesty the King for this charitable foundation, they have cut her dead. Well, you can dress it up any way you want, but there's no way. Now, Harry, you know, as I said, always feels a little bit sorry for these situations, because I believe in my mind he knows that, you know, the right and the wrong. He's been brought up totally differently. Meghan literally is a ruthless showbiz person who will literally cut off people underneath you. You know, if you're no longer any use to her, she's not interested in you, because what's the point? And you can see that when she's interviewing people, you know, suddenly they're not exactly given the narrative that she wants, normally gushing about her. So what she thinks is, oh, I'm wasting my time here, let's talk about me. Princess Eugenie should have come out full scale, in her opinion, according to a source, to back her up regarding things like the Oprah interview, gushing about the podcast, the jams, you name it. If you don't deliver that for Meghan, then you're out. And 100%, this has now sealed her fate. Now, the other side of it is, and you may watch this, They could, right? Because Eugenie is a very, how can I put this? She wants to be friends with both sides. You can't be. And of course, Meghan will only be trying to pummel her for information should they meet up again. But a source tells me that Eugenie is very much aware now of the, how can I put this nicely, the personality of Meghan Markle, far more advanced than perhaps when she first met them all of those years ago. But for now, this was the kiss of death for Princess Eugenie and the ongoing friendship with the former royal known as the Duchess of Sussex. Do you think she's bothered, really? Neil Sean, Kensington, London.